This is one of those matches that could go either way. The Chinese are going to be wary of Calderano. They know that Gaoyuan, even though he's ranked number 7 in the world, I think he'd fancy his chances against the Brazilian. But I'm not going to call this one.
Well, I'm going to call it super exciting. Oh, man, here we go. Hugo Calderano, best of 5 to start off. Get ready for the serves. That was just a teaser. That serve didn't even hit a quarter of the height for some of his serves, but he'll mix it up just to change up the timing for the receiver. A little bit off the net here. He started very strong. He went up 3-0 at the World Championships against Liang Jingquin just last week. One of the most amazing comebacks in the tournament. We saw a few, including the finalist, Truls Morgard. The reason I bring that up is right out of the gates against his Chinese opponent Liang Jingquin last time they played, he was going big parallel down the line with the backhand. I wouldn't be surprised to see similar here. That said, he's got a lefty now.
Yeah, a couple of times the return has hit the net and it's gone in his favor. So he's quick off the blocks, 4 love and 2 serves to come.
Wow, the pace of this backhand, and Lin Gaoyuan ready for the speed game.
Yeah, it came back with interest. I thought that was an excellent shot from Calderano. Played the cross-court backhand, but how good was the return from Gaoyuan?
I think Calderano, a little bit of regret there that he didn't go for the attack. In all fairness, it was a clever idea to play it softer and short, but Lin Gaoyuan showing how agile and well-balanced he is to come in and attack that ball comfortably. First towel break. Towel breaks come up every 6 points in case you're newer to the game, so players don't stall. Outstanding play. 2 counter backhands in that rally. Again, for players outside of the Chinese national team to be countering backhands behind the table confidently like that is not something you see often.
If both players are going to go away from the table, then it's going to be Calderano, I think, who's going to come out on top, because that's just the way he plays the game.
We shall see. Lin Gaoyuan, for me, I've always referred to him as a featherweight. He's very light on his feet. He's got a thinner frame than most of his Chinese teammates, but still a lot of muscle to go with that thin frame. Let's see how fast he is here, getting almost a behind-the-back attempt out of Hugo Calderano.
A good short service return from Gaoyuan, and that gives him the time to get in good position for that middle of the table forehand.
Placement on the serve, catching the edge of the receiver's racket, but we still haven't seen that high toss serve that we've been teasing.
I'm sure we'll see it soon.
But when? I want to see it now. 4 serving 6, the Dark Knight with the serves. Deep to that corner, perfect placement from Hugo.
Look at where Calderano is when he's playing the service return. He's moved already to his extreme forehand side. He's leaving a lot of backhand court, but that return was so good. Again.
2-handed backhand.
Oh.
Inside out forehand for Brook. Well now, just catches the inside of the ball, steps around that one, and it is not even reachable, not with the fast feet of the featherweight, the Dark Knight. Soft Chiquita to start 2 hands on a backhand. Don't see that too often. Moves back in, 1 topspin. There's the inside out, and he's already right back up at the table just in case. Clever idea, but the short side of the table doesn't leave a lot of margin for error.
Lin Gaoyuan has to make sure that he tries to stay close to the table if he possibly can. A couple of times now he's gone away and he's lost both those points.
Hey, what's up, bud? I'm in the front row right now at a major tournament. pretty sure that's what the guy in the front row was texting. Dude, you'd be so jealous of me right now. Guess where I am?
He's got one of the best sessions, the 4-match session.
Oh, yeah. We got another one today, too.
Yeah.
Now, Calderano's been strong behind the table so far. It's funny, 2005 World Championships, Michael Mays versus Hao Shuai has been noted as one of the greatest comebacks in modern history. And a big part of it was the spectacle of having someone play defense and lobbing down a Chinese opponent. I mean, that match set Michael Mays up for life. Was he an incredible player? Yes, but that match, table tennis fans still to this day talk about. 2 points in front, Hugo Calderano. The only reason I brought that up is thinking about watching a non-Chinese player, and a non-Asian player for that matter, playing against a strong left-handed opponent and winning a good percentage of points from behind the table, but nothing has made this point more than that Michael Mays match. It's just since then, I think China has said, you know what, we're going to practice everything so that never happens again. Good pressure, steps all the way around that forehand for the backhand attack.
Yeah, how brave was that? Good serve, got the short return, and then straight away moved to his extreme forehand side. He knew that. He was anticipating that shot from Gaoyuan.
Good movement there, takes the risk to make that first shot count. 2 game points for Hugo.
Let 8-10.
The power down the line after a little bit off the net earlier in the rally. Both wings, Calderano looking strong. Remember, it's a best of 5. So this first game, even more important than usual, a good start for world rank number 4, the thrill from Brazil, Hugo Calderano, ready for a fresh shirt. There's a man who takes care of himself and has for a long time. 11-8 in the start. Curious how they compare? I know I am. Let's take a look at that. Hugo Calderano and Lin Gaoyuan. It's 1 year between them, although in terms of lifespan in their career, for the Chinese team, few players play into their 30s. For Brazil, I mean, anything goes. Anything else stand out to you here, Varsha?
I think the 10 years as pro for Calderano to have 12 wins, that's big. That's big, and that's why he's at number 4 in the world. This is his highest ranking he's ever achieved.
Man, just remembering back to when he played in the Olympic Games in 2016 in Brazil. I mean, he gave an incredible match. I think it was to Jun Mizutani. But the crowd was just electric there. And table tennis is still one of those sports where every 4 years, just a ridiculous amount of people happen to stumble across it at the Olympics and go, wow, why don't I watch more of this? This is amazing. So now we've got people watching that found out about it in Tokyo 2020, and you are so warmly welcomed here. But you caught table tennis at a great turning point, at a major turning point, the start of WTT. Players from all around the world, from Quadri Aruna to Mima Ito to Hugo Calderano. And of course, the top Chinese players in the world, mega celebrities throughout this sport all over the world. Calderano continuing with his momentum here. Good pressure down the line from the Dark Knight.
Yeah, we haven't seen that shot very often, the down the line backhand topspin.
Oh, perfect length. I saw Gaoyuan starting to go for this forehand and thought, how is he going to get his hand through the table? How perfect is the length of that serve. Calderano's got Lin Gaoyuan a little bit hesitant because he wants to get aggressive early, but he's just shut down by the placement on this serve.
Yeah, short returns from Calderano. It's preventing Gaoyuan from playing the attacking shots first. Oh, this time he just tried the deep return.
Top edge of the racket, it could come down on the table, it will not.
3-4.
It's happened before, and it has so much backspin.
Yeah.
I mean, recently referenced at the World Championships, I think, but Kasumi Ishikawa years ago against Gaoyuan found herself lying down on the table trying to reach a ball because she had to pick away and couldn't tell where it was going to go. It was a similar setup to that point we just saw. Good regathering as Calderano blasts one and it comes right back. Tough to beat Chinese players in the speed game.
Yeah, but he's doing it very well so far. The backhand shot was played so well and so hard.
I think Hugo Calderano, Hugo is one of a handful of players who has this incredible potential to really just change the future of a lot of players around the world coming up.
Absolutely.
I say that thinking about, you know, in the United States, there aren't a ton of professionals, but a lot of people that would like to be moved to Germany or moved to Europe to play in leagues, to get proper training and play for a club. Calderano, a trailblazer to show that you can make an outstanding living doing just that.
6-4.
Again, moving to his extreme forehand and playing that backhand flick. So many times already we've seen in this match that he's anticipating that the ball is going to be played short from Gaoyuan, and his forehand flick seems to be working for him.
Good consistency on top of the table from Gaoyuan. I felt like with Hugo behind the table, there was one shot there that made me pull my breath back in. That one from below the table. But right on top of the bounce, Gaoyuan is there with his racket up high.
Backhands down the line from both the players. And then Calderano just trying to up the pace. This is how close to the table Gaoyuan is getting. And he's trying to keep his ground.
Gaoyuan actually getting a bronze medal in the mixed doubles with Lily Zhang of USA in a ping pong diplomacy pairing to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of China and the United States becoming friends. Once again, that is. Well, now up in front by 1 point. Big chance here for Gaoyuan to open a comeback.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been ahead in the match, and he's going to have to take advantage of this next serve.
It's always tough to get a lot of power on the ball when you're moving backwards. A fadeaway shot. Saw Quadriaruna do it earlier, but 2 points between them now. Calderano, interesting. Towel breaks come up every 6 points, but if someone comes to clean the table, you'll see players go towel off a little bit. Good setup here, and the return doesn't miss by a lot.
Yeah, slightly high return from Gaoyuan, and Calderano plays that backhand topspin cross court. So much of bite on that ball and spin on the ball, it just jumps up.
Good long push here. Again, not as heavy the spin, but the speed there, the timing and the surprise factor high for Calderano. Take another look.
There was spin and it was so deep, it almost caught the edge of the table.
You couldn't tell when he came in what he was going to do. He could have dropped it short, but just quickly decided to guide it off the bounce. The two-handed backhand comes back. It's funny, it's a very counterintuitive shot that I've talked to him about it, and Calderano is incredibly intelligent. Both him and Simon Gauzy do this shot, but Calderano did it against Harimoto in a crucial moment. You couldn't ask for a better finish. It was just spectacular. And I think a big thing is it changes the trajectory and the pace and breaks the rhythm of the opponent. Spectacular point from behind the table. Calderano fishing and then spinning with the forehands. Third towel break and nothing between them point-wise. It's a game that will be decided by the difference of 2 points, the narrowest margin possible.
Amazing shots from both the players. Gaoyuan trying to stay close to the table. He did manage to do so, but look at these returns from Calderano. Amazing shots. The last one just had a little bit of spin on it, and it was played deep to the court.
I follow Hugo on Instagram, as everyone should. And it's just a reminder, watching how much muscle it takes for him to stay that low and reset time and time again. Good pressure to the deep backhand corner. The placement perfect here. And now game point for Hugo Calderano to go up 2-0.
A high-risk shot for Gaoyuan to play the backhand jab down the line. There was so much of spin on that ball.
Second bounce. A bit of net loving from the net to Hugo Calderano, the thrill from Brazil. We'll see if this is cashed in later. An IOU for some TTK, some table tennis karma. 11-8, 11-9, and Lin Gaoyuan with his back against the ropes now. We've seen some big comebacks. And after last week again, Hugo Calderano was one game away from a clean sweep against Liang Jingquin. Liang Jingquin of the Chinese national team, one of the top, I'd say, contenders for a spot at the Olympics to maybe join Wang Chuqin and Fang Zhendong, but we will see. Still a few years ahead, it was Liang Jingquin who came back 4 games in a row. Can the Dark Knight do the same? He's been on the other side of this coin many times. So some hydration in the corner. Calderano with a little conversation. We talked about the team. He's training in Oxenhausen. Jean-René Mounier travels the world with him as a coach. But he does have a few other people on his team to work with him. You saw the two-handed backhand there, the jumps, the leaps. Where's the table? Nowhere to be found. Oh, there it is. Completely, you could put a table between him and that table. We saw so many points where Calderano was way behind the table. Not afraid, covers ground very well from back there. So unconventional to see a two-handed backhand, but he swears by it, and it's worked out for him just fine. Now, this is one of the most common questions that I've seen on YouTube and people who are laymen to table tennis. As someone who gets far from the table myself, when someone's that far, why don't they just tap it, dink it, drop it on the table? And the answer is because it's incredibly difficult to do. The ball has a lot of topspin, is coming in with decent pace. I mean, the best players in the world, the Chinese national team, are probably closer to 50-50 when they try to drop shot. I think Ma Lin had the best drop shot I had ever seen at the professional level, maybe with Waldner.
It has to be played very deceptively, because if you're going to play it too often, then the defensive player is going to straight away know that you're going to play the drop shot and come forward. But it's incredibly difficult to control the spin on the return, and to play a short and you know, a low to the net drop shot is very difficult.
Right, if you can get 2 bounces on the table, then you're in good position. But if it comes off the table, your opponent's right back in at the table, and you've lost some advantage. And that's even if you make the shot. Most people won't make the shot. If you leave it too high and you show early, I mean, the lobber, the defensive player will come running in and smash. So usually attacking with precision tends to be the better way to go.
3-2.
A lot of spin on that backhand open from Gaoyuan. Calderano was trying to play the flatter shot, just couldn't control it enough. There was a lot of spin on that ball. But a very good attempt.
Good pressure here deep on the table. Lin Gaoyuan right to the baseline. I talked about sort of the probation right now that Lin Gaoyuan feels like he might be on. Just the sense that he's had some sort of turbulence in his career. Losing is okay, but losing to foreigners is not okay.
Yeah. He has to do something to turn this match around very quickly because he's 2 games to love down. It's now 4-all in the third.
Want to hear a story about how not okay it is? Here's a rule the Chinese national team had as we have a timeout now. Lin Gaoyuan's side. If you lose your opening round match against a foreigner and you play for the Chinese national team, the next tournament you cannot play. So that happened. Xu Xin, I mean, was in and out of world #1, and he got beaten, and suddenly the next week he wasn't at the tournament. I mean, for fans, that's devastating, but it's a real strong motivator to remind you how important it is that you are playing for the most proud nation in table tennis. I mean, you don't have to know all the words, but if you don't know the melody of the Chinese national anthem, well, you've just started watching table tennis, so welcome to the sport. We haven't seen a lot of that high toss serve yet from Hugo Calderano. Where'd the ball? Oh, there it is. Wow. I mean, that ball could have come down with some ice on it. Maybe a man with a little spacesuit on it. Yeah, he hasn't used it much this match. Why do you think he hasn't used his signature high toss serve?
I think initially when he's won the first couple of games, he hasn't used it. So he's saying, why should I give away the high toss serve in my first match of the tournament? I mean, the ball gathers speed as it comes down. The higher you toss it, it gathers speed on its descent. And the contact between racket and ball is what causes the different kinds of spin and speed on the ball. So maybe we'll see it now, but maybe he's just waiting. When he goes deeper into the tournament, that's when he's going to bring it out. He doesn't want it to be, you know, dissected, maybe.
I have some theories about it as well in terms of dissection. Earlier in the tournament, maybe day 1, we talked about the internal training in China and how they have a wall for the men, the greatest threats to the Chinese team. And Hugo Calderano is top tier. There are 3 different tiers, and all of those players have been studied well. So if you're in Hugo Calderano's position, I think there's a game of catch me if you can going on. You think they might have figured out this thing that I used to do, so guess what? It's like changing clothes when you're a fugitive. I only know this from movies. I don't even change clothes. But if you're on the run and they describe you a certain way, they're prepared for what you look like, you need to change your identity, right? So similar, Mima Ito's been doing this for years. I mean, if you watch her, she's not the same, ever. Not for long. She can only wear the same set of serves before changing clothes for maybe a few months at a time. Two-handed backhand just misses. A counter attempt like that. Ayah.
I mean, that was a high ball for Gaoyuan to play that shot, but that was outrageous. I mean, a two-handed backhand, like really, at that point of the match?
He's done it before.
Yeah.
It's funny, I think Hugo Calderano is so smart and so skilled. It might shock us, and at times I might wonder, but I could never discredit him. I can't recall the last time I saw him make a decision that was not a good one. Edge of the racket on the next one. Good defense for a bit. Interesting as things change. He won a lot of points from behind the table, but not playing especially defensively. That two-handed backhand, scoop from under the table. Now that's where you can do a snake. You can put some side spin on it, wiggle. Because they can't see the contact of the ball and the racket under the table.
Yeah.
So you put some funky spin, some combination of spin on it, and then you wiggle up dramatically after to mislead the opponent so that they go, oh, I think I know where it's going, but maybe they're wrong.
Very tight third game. And a good deep shot from Calderano. Okay, it did clip the net, but it was always intended to be played deep.
So as Hugo does his ritual before the serve, sleeve to sleeve, fanning the face, he gets ready. He's 2 points away from a clean sweep. Second serve big here. Ooh, the touch game. 9 points apiece. Gaoyuan pulling his way back in by a thread here. He's 2 points away from being eliminated in the first round against a foreigner. We don't know what the next tournament is yet, but I'd be curious to see. Oh. Apology from Gaoyuan.
Yeah, he got really lucky there. He had committed to playing that the shot from his extreme backhand, went for the down the line, the shorter part of the table, and he's got game point.
Big point to save it. The first time we've heard any noise out of Calderano in a point. The choke quick. It's funny, this is the second time today that we've seen a shot that we thought, might want to see that again in replay.
Yeah.
From where Gaoyuan was, he was a little outside the table, so it could have been questionable, but he was bold and it favored him. Here we are, deuce, alternating serves.
Let 10 all.
Good pressure inside the table from Gaoyuan, stealing it from over, and now he's got a game point. Once again, second game point for the Dark Knight. This is a fight for survival right now for Gaoyuan. He's getting that two-handed backhand ready.
Yeah, and he's allowing, Gaoyuan is allowing Calderano to play that backhand flick from his extreme forehand side. He knows that's his favorite shot. And he's only playing that return cross court.
Good setup here, earns himself a third ball. Now Hugo Calderano with his first match point.
An excellent serve from the Brazilian. He gets the short return that he wants on his forehand before slapping it away.
The backhand does it, the spinny Chiquita, the backhand banana flick, and Hugo Calderano has taken down the Dark Knight world number 4, 25-year-old Thrill from Brazil, moves on to the final 8. Fist bump to Coach Leo Hung, but again, a performance that will remind the world that Hugo Calderano is not just special, that he is an inspiration to fans around the world. A hug in the corner, and it's just the first round. He's got a long way to go, but a very solid start in a tough draw.